This is a video presentation on factoring trinomials where a does not equal 1 by Mathematically Marcia. Okay, the standard form of a trinomial is a x squared plus b x plus c. So in our example here, a is 2, positive 7 is b, and 3 is c. So to factor this trinomial, we want to find the two binomials that can be multiplied together to give us this trinomial. Our first step is going to be to multiply a times c. So in this case, a would be 2, c would be 3. And when we do a times 3, or c, or 2 times 3, we get 6. Now we want to list all the factors of 6, which would be 1 times 6, or 2 times 3. Now we want to find the pair that adds to equal b, which is 7. So 1 plus 6 equals 7. That works. We already found the pair. So now, when we write our two binomials, both of them are going to have 2x at the beginning because 2x was our a. And then at the end, we will put 1 and 6 because that was the pair we got to equal b in the middle. Now, the problem is when we go to FOIL, 2x times 2x, that's going to be 4x squared. So we've got an extra 2x in there we need to take out. So look at your two factors and see where you have extras. Here we have 2x plus 1. Here we have 2x plus 6. Both of those can be divided by 2. So we leave the 2x plus 1 alone. We divide those by 2. Now this 2 is going away because it's an extra factor. It's not a GCF that we keep in our answer. And then that will be our answer. Now we can FOIL this to check it and make sure we're right. 2x times x first is 2x squared. Outer 2x times 3 is plus 6x. Inner 1 times x is plus 1x. And last is plus 3. Combine our middle terms, 2x squared plus 7x plus 3, which is what we were looking for. Okay, now in this example, a is 3, b is positive 14, and c is negative 5. So we do a times c, which gives us negative 15. Now since c is negative, our signs have to be different when we multiply, and we're going to make the larger number positive. So negative 1 times 15, negative 3 times 5. And now let's add them together to see which one equals 14. Now when we go to add, signs are different, so we actually subtract. Negative 1 plus 15 is 14. We found the pair we need. So when we write our binomials, again, we need to remember that both of them start with 3x because that's what a is. And then on the ends, we have minus 1 and plus 15. But we have an extra 3x in there. We need to find where we can throw it out. This first binomial, 3x minus 1, nothing we can divide those by. 3x and 15, though, they can both be divided by 15. That's where our extra 3 is to throw out. So you have 3x minus 1, and then x plus 5. Now, let's FOIL it to check our answer. Multiply the first, 3x times x is 3x squared. The outer, 3x times 5 is plus 15x. The inner is minus x. And the last is minus 5. So now let's combine our middle terms. So 3x squared plus 14x minus 5, which is what we were looking for. So our answer is correct. Our next example, A is 8, B is -2, C is -3. So A, which is 8, times C, which is -3, would be -24. So we have a negative again, which means our signs are different, because we need a positive and a negative multiplied to get a negative. And the larger number is now going to be negative. So 1 times -24, 2 times -12, 3 times -8, 4 times -6. Now let's add these together to see which one equals B. 1 plus -24 is -22. That doesn't work. 2 plus -12 is -10. That doesn't work. 3 plus -8 is -5. That doesn't work. 4 plus -6 is -2. That's what we want. So we write our two binomials. Remember again that the first terms are going to be 8x and 8x. And we're going to have to throw out that extra 8x somewhere. And then our last terms are plus 4 and minus 6. Now let's see where we can throw out the extras. 8x and 4 can both be divided by 4. 8x and 6 can both be divided by 2. So we're throwing out 4 here, 2 here, which multiplied together does mean the extra 8 we need to throw out. So 8x divided by 4 is 2x. 4 divided by 4 is 1. And then 8x divided by 2 is 4. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So 2x plus 1, 4x minus 3. Now let's FOIL to check our answer. Multiply the first terms, you get 8x squared. The outer minus 6x. The inner plus 4x. And the last minus 3. Now combine your middle terms. 8x squared minus 2x minus 3. So that works. All right, let's once again identify A as 12, B 11, and C -5. So we want to do A, which is 12, times C, which is -5, and that gives me -60. -60 means I need different signs. In order to get a negative, you have to multiply different signs. And the larger numbers are going to be positive, so that when we add, our answer is positive. So you have -1 times 60, -2 times 30, -3 times 20, -4 times 15, -5 times 12, and negative 6 times 10. Now we need to see which one will add to equal the 11 that we have for B. So negative 1 plus 60 is 59. That does not work. Negative 2 plus 30 is 28. That does not work. Negative 3 plus 20 is 17. That does not work. Negative 4 plus 15 is 11. That's what we're looking for. So when we go to write our two binomials, remember we have a at the beginning of each one, 12x and 12x. And now we need to put the negative 4 and the 15, and we had a y squared on the end. So we also need to add a y to the end of these. Now we need to look for the extra 12 we can throw out. In this first group, we can divide both of these by 4, and in the second group, we can divide both of these by 3. 4 times 3 is 12, so that is our extra 12 to throw out. So we have 3x minus y, and we have 4x plus 5y. Alright, now let's FOIL to check. 3x times 4x is 12x squared. So our first, and then our outer is plus 15xy. Our inner minus 4xy. And our last minus 5y squared. Combine the middle. 12x squared plus 11xy minus 5y squared, which is what we were looking for. So this is correct. Alright, in this example, A is 9, B is negative 18, and C is 8. So when we do A, which is 9, times C, which is 8, we get 72. Now 72 is positive, which means our signs are the same. But B needs to be negative. So we're going to do two negatives, because when we multiply two negatives, we still get a positive. But when we add them, we'll get the negative we need for B. So negative 1 times negative 72. Negative 2 times negative 36. Negative 3 times negative 24. Negative 4 times negative 18. Negative 6 times negative 12. And negative 8 times negative 9. Now let's go through and add to see which one will give us the B, or negative 18 we're looking for. Negative 1 plus negative 72 is negative 73. It's too big. Negative 2 plus negative 36 is negative 38. Doesn't work. Negative 3 plus negative 24 is negative 27. We're getting closer, but not there. Negative 4 plus negative 18 is negative 22. Still not there. Negative 6 plus negative 12 is negative 18. There's what we're looking for. So once again, remember to start each pair with 9x and 9x. And we do have a y on the end again here. So we're going to end it with a y. And we have minus 6y and minus 12y. Now we need to see where we can throw out the extra x. 9 and 6 can both be divided by 3. I'm sorry, the extra 9, not x. And then 9 and 12 can both be divided by 3. And 3 times 3 is 9. So 9 divided by 3 is 3x. 6 divided by 3 is 2. So 2y. 9 divided by 3 is 3. 12 divided by 3 is 4. So 4y. So 3x minus 2y and 3x minus 4y. And now, let's FOIL to check our answer. 3x times 3x is 9x squared, the first. The outer, 3x times minus 4y is minus 12xy. The inner is minus 6xy. And the last, plus 8y squared. So combine the two in the middle, 9x squared minus 18xy plus 8y squared, which is what we're looking for, so that was correct. Okay, in this example we do have a common factor, so we're going to take that out first. Divide everything by 2. And that gives me 6x squared plus 7xy minus 20y squared. So now we can identify A as 6, B as plus 7, and C as negative 20. And then A, which is 6, times C, which is negative 20, gives me negative 120. So now we'll list the factors of negative 120. And since it's negative, we do want our signs to be different, and the larger number is going to be positive, so that when we add, we get a positive. So negative 1 times 120, negative 2 times 60, negative 3 times 40, negative 4 times 30, negative 5 times 24, negative 6 times 20, negative 8 times 15, and negative 10 times 12. Now let's go back and add these to see which one equals the 7 that we need. Negative 1 plus 120 is 119. That doesn't work. Negative 2 plus 60 is 58. Still too big. Negative 3 plus 40 is 37. Doesn't work. Negative 4 plus 30 is 26. Doesn't work. Negative 5 plus 24 is 19. Doesn't work. Negative 6 plus 20 is 14. Still too big. Getting closer. Negative 8 plus 15 is 7. That's the one we're looking for. Now, when we go to write our binomials, we want to remember to include this 2 we had in the beginning as our common factor. And then we need to remember to have 6x at the beginning of each binomial, which we'll end up having to throw out somewhere. And then at the end, we had minus 8 and 15, and don't forget about the y that's on the end. So minus 8y and plus 15y. Now, let's see where we can throw the extra 6 out. Here we can divide by 2 in the first group. Second binomial, we can divide by 3, which gives us the 6. So we have a 2 up front still. 3x minus 4y, and then 2x plus 5y. Now we can FOIL and distribute to check our answer. So our first terms, 3x times 2x is 6x squared. The outer is plus 15xy. And the inner is minus 8xy. And the last, minus 20y squared. And of course we still have our common factor. Now we need to combine our middle terms. So we have 6x squared plus 7xy minus 20y squared. And now let's distribute the 2. So 12x squared plus 14xy minus 40y squared, which is what we started with. So that is correct. Alright, we do have a common factor again. We would not be able to factor this trinomial as it is. So let's look for that common factor. They all can be divided by 3. They all have at least one x. And they all have at least one z. And since our first term is negative, let's go ahead and divide by negative so that a will be a positive number. So after simplifying that, we have 3x squared minus xy minus 4y squared. Now we can look for a, b, and c. So a is negative 3, b is negative 1, and c is negative 4. So a, which is 3, times c, which is negative 4, would be negative 12. And now to list our factors. Our signs are going to be different again because we need to multiply different signs to get a negative. And the larger number is going to be negative since that's what b is. So 1 times negative 12, 2 times negative 6, 3 times negative 4. Now let's add to see which one gives us negative 1. 1 plus negative 12 is negative 11. Doesn't work. 2 plus negative 6 is negative 4. Doesn't work. 3 plus negative 4 is negative 1. That's what we're looking for. Okay, now when we go to write our binomials, let's not forget about the common factor first. Negative 3xz. And then we need to put 3x, since a is 3, at the beginning of each binomial. And we do have a y on the end again. So plus 3y and minus 4y. Now we need to see where we can throw out the extra 3. And that would be right here in this first binomial. So we have negative 3xz, and then x plus y. Notice I didn't put the 1's because they're assumed. And then 3x minus 4y. Now, let's distribute and FOIL to check. So the first, we have 3x squared. The outer, minus 4xy. The inner, you have plus 3xy. And the last, minus 4y squared. Now, we just need to combine our middle terms and then distribute. So you have negative 3xz, and then 3x squared minus xy. Notice again we don't need the 1, it's assumed. Minus 4y squared. We can distribute negative 9x cubed z plus 3 x squared yz minus or plus 12 xy squared z, which is exactly what we started with, so this is correct. To see more videos like this, you can subscribe to my channel below. Please share your comments, your likes, your questions, or requests for future videos below, and thank you for watching.